Hi guys again, it's Armand. Sorry it's been a while since I put up a review. I know I've been promising this one for a while, so I figured I might as well do it when I get the chance, and I have the chance now. This is my review of the Cold Steel Magnum Kukri Machete. I've had this for a while now, a couple months, and I'll let you know how I feel about it. Start off with the sheath. I bought this whole thing for like 30 bucks, so I didn't expect a good sheath to start off with, especially since they have to put a lot of nylon on there to cover the whole knife because it's a big blade. But to be honest, I didn't expect one this bad. Cold Steel, I really expected more out of you guys. This sheath is not very good at all. The rivets are nice, the sewing is nice, but the way that it functions, I despise. You have a slot here that the blade fits into, and then you have the cross straps, which are sturdy cross straps. It really clicks into place well. You can hear the click. It's a nice cross strap, but the problem is when it's actually enclosed in the slot, it's still exposed. The back end, as you can see here, there you go. It's all still exposed. It opens up and the blade fits in there, but it's still exposed to the elements. There's no real protection, other than the fact that the sides are somewhat protected and the actual edge is protected. But they put this plastic tip so that the actual tip of the blade doesn't break along hanging things. But on top of that, they don't put something for you to loop at the bottom onto your leg because it's such a long sheath and the blade itself is so long. I expected more. The belt loop is a simple belt loop. I mean, it's a relatively sturdy belt loop. It's probably the sturdiest part of this whole thing, but this sheath I really don't like. I'm probably going to end up trying to find a different sheath or maybe make my own or something, but I really don't like this sheath. So, in respect to the sheath, this is not a very good tool, but we're lucky because the blade itself is wonderful. It's very, very functional. It's a super useful blade. I will say that the edge I have on there now, as you can see, it's a nice clean edge. There's no black epoxy on there. It's a nice smooth silver edge of steel. The edge it comes with is really dull. They say it's their utility edge, but I don't know what you're going to utilize it for. You can't cut anything with it. And I just wanted to show you that I just took a little piece of paper. It's very, very sharp right now. It's literally a razor's edge right now. I can cut hair with this very easily. You're never going to get it that sharp, as in out of the box. You can get it that sharp and hold this edge very well. I'm going to sit down now. But yeah, it holds this edge relatively well for what it's doing. I took it out, I wanted to test it out, and we have a big ginkgo tree in front of the house, and I needed to prune some of the branches. So I found a limb that was about thicker than the actual thickness of the blade, maybe 2 to 3 inches thick. And I tried chopping it down with this, and it was flawless, very easy, maybe 5 to 6 whacks, and it was a nice clean cut all the way through. It wasn't a breaking cut, it was a cut. And I processed it after that, cut it down. It's probably about 10 feet long, so I cut it into sections. And it performed excellent. I really had I didn't even think it was going to do that well, because it's not the heaviest blade. It's about 18 to 19 ounces, I believe, somewhere in there. And it's 17 inches long, so you can pick up a lot of speed, but there's not a lot of force behind it. I will say this, though, it's a lot of front heavy weight, as you can see. It's the Kukri design, but it's a big, bulky Kukri in front. Whenever you catch something in the Kukri, the curve in there, it really cuts it nicely. I really do like, the reason I got this one particularly is because it's the thickest of their machetes, not their like Bowie machetes, but just their machetes. It's 2.75 millimeters thick. Yeah, 2.75, and that's what I wanted. It doesn't flex as much as the other machetes do, which is really what I was interested in. I didn't want a piece of paper, you know, I wanted a substantial piece of metal. I oiled it, as I don't know if you guys can see now. Yeah, you can see some of the oil spots on there. That's just because there's oil in the sheath. Usually it's a lot smoother than that. But it functions very well. It holds an edge well. I will say it's kind of hard to sharpen this tip. That was the hardest thing for me to do, and I still don't think I've gotten what I want on there particularly. But I will say this, like I showed you, this edge is very, very sharp. For what it's worth, the $30 you're going to spend, I can't not recommend this. It's very, 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 very good. Not like the sheath. The sheath is garbage. But this blade, as a tool, is excellent. If you want to do some bushwhacking or you needed something to go into the forest or the woods with to cut down something. I can see this doing very well. I cut through 2x4s as well with this. It did excellent. I've seen people do that though, so I wasn't too surprised that it did well. But I've never seen a lot of people process wood with this. I mean like a tree, branches or limbs or something like that. And it did that. It did that very well. I haven't split wood with this yet, and that's something I really do want to try, because I want to see how that thickness performs. A lot of people say that if you profile the edge to a more, I wouldn't say shallow, but give it a longer relief cut, as long as you give it somewhat more of a relief cut, so it has more of a wedge property as opposed to this, just this a wedge, more of an edge, I guess is what you could say. It functions better, but I'm not worried about the wedge factor. I'm more worried about the thickness, because it still is a very, very thin blade. But I still think it will perform, because you have so much room to hit that you can rest this on there and whack at both ends of this with a baton and it'll perform. It's 1055 carbon steel, which is a mid-range steel, which is what you would expect out of a machete. You don't want, 1095 where you're going to whack this and it's going to crack, because 1095 blades, you don't want to make this long, because there's so much vibration in a whack when you hit this against something, that as it vibrates at the tip and at the heel, there's such vibration that it'll make micro fissures, and over time it will break. I promise you it will break. So anyone out there who thinks you're, a knife expert, I can tell you that if you have a 1095, a high carbon blade, and it's at this length, or it's a machete and that's its function, and it's this thin, because keep in mind it's a machete, it's a thin blade, but it's this thin, it will break. It's inevitable. So for what this is, it's designed very, very, very well. I love the shape of the blade. It's beautiful. Like, I really think it looks cool. On the con side, this handle, it holds well in your hand. It doesn't hurt. It's comfortable. I don't worry about the blade sliding up or down, but it's not very therapeutic, I guess is what the word is. It's not that I'm not worried about getting blisters or something, but it's just uncomfortable to hold. It's not like uncomfortable where you're worried, where it's going to slide or something. I'm not worried about this sliding out of my hand, but it's just not very nice. It's not a rubbery feel at all. It's just like PVC. I think that's what it is, actually. I think it's PVC. So it's not very soft. It's not very elegant. It doesn't fit into your hand very well in terms of, it doesn't conform to your hand. You have to conform to it, which is not something groundbreaking for a knife like this, but I was hoping for something more. I was hoping for like a K-bar style handle, and I'm not talking about the marine K-bar, I'm talking about the heavy Bowie, that kind of stuff where they really have this nice. It's a wonderful handle. If you don't have a K-bar, you can watch my review of that. That's an unbelievable knife. That's something everyone should own. I think everyone should own a K-bar, or heavy Bowie particularly. But back to this. No, I don't have any other cons other than the handle being not the softest and the nicest in your hand, and other than that, the sheath is, get rid of that. Find a better way to hold it. That thing's garbage. Cold steel, please don't do that to me. Like, give me a better sheath than that. Do something nice. And I'm going to close by saying I will recommend this to everyone who needs a machete and a functional tool. This is very functional. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing. For me it is. I like black. I like when you sharpen it, especially you get that nice clean edge on there. I really like that. So to me it's wonderful, but it's really, really functional. It does a good job. I recommend it for the $30-some you might pay for it. And yeah, like I said, you're not going to get this edge. You got to sharpen it. I personally use Smith's pocket sharpener to get the edge, which, like I said, is razor sharp. So check my review on that too. Very useful sharpener. Very small, compact. Anyway, good machete. Buy it. You'll like it. Comment, rate, whatever you want. I'm just trying to help you guys out. Magnum Kukri Machete by Cold Steel. Skip the whole thing. And yeah, great tool. Very useful. Lanyard pull too. Anyway, take care, guys. Arm on out.